In a face-to-face meeting that could have ripple effects across the Middle East and Europe, President Trump reissued his call for Turkey to quit buying oil from Russia. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan made his first visit to the White House today since 2019. At the top of his agenda, a push to buy American fighter jets. President Trump banned Turkey from the F-35 program during his first term, citing concerns over Turkey's relations with Russia. This afternoon, Mr. Trump indicated he could lift that ban as early as today. He also said he sees Erdogan as a crucial partner in brokering peace in Gaza and Ukraine.
Everybody respects Erdogan. They really respect Erdogan. I do. And I think he could have a big influence if he wants to. Right now, he's very neutral. He likes being neutral. So do I like being neutral. But he's somebody that, if he got involved, the best thing he could do is not buy oil and gas from Russia.
Turkey remains a key but complicated ally, relying on Russia for energy while still anchoring NATO's southern flank. Since January 2023, Turkey has purchased more than $90 billion in Russian coal, oil, and natural gas, making it one of Moscow's biggest customers. The White House is hoping today's talks can ease tensions and rest relations with Ankara. Well, joining me now is Sinan Ciddi, Director of the Turkey Program at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Sinan, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I want to start off by asking you in broad terms, can you talk about the significance of this meeting? Why was it so important?
Right. So it's important to say that President Erdogan of Turkey has been seeking to meet with the U.S. president since he last met with the U.S. president, which was Donald Trump back in, I believe it was 2017 or 2018. I'm not exactly sure of the last date. It has been quite some time. And it is a meeting which he has sought, and this is a meeting that is more important for Erdogan. But I would say there are significant sort of policy implications and national security implications which are equally as significant and important for the United States, particularly as they apply to issue areas such as Syria's future, where we do have US troops, and issues of security that we're interested in. But also we're interested in obviously ending the conflict in Ukraine, where Turkey is also promising that it can play an important role, as well as wider concerns over issues of Mediterranean security, as well as the future of Israel's interests in the wider Middle East. So this has been an important and sought-after meeting, and it was only put on the books as of last Friday. So it's been quite a sort of whirlwind since it was announced.
Sinan, before they went into the private meeting, the president did say to the media that he and Erdogan would be talking about the sale of F-35 fighter jets to Turkey. You have said that should not happen. Can you explain why?
Correct. I think I represent one constituency in this city, as in Washington, D.C., as in there are a number of our organizations and a perspective in this town, as well as numerous members of the United States Congress and the political establishment in this country, which say selling an F-35 war platform to Turkey is particularly dangerous. And I'm not the only one, simply because the F-35 is unlike any other weapons platform that we seek to sell Turkey and other allies, simply because Turkey is an ally probably only in name only, simply because Turkey is or has been undermining US national security interests for a considerable amount of time. On the top of our sort of list of grievances that we have against Turkey is a premier supporter of US designated terrorist organizations, notably Hamas. But Turkey has also been undermining our war efforts, our efforts to essentially undermine and contain Russia's war effort in Ukraine. We also believe that Turkey is essentially not a credible ally with our Israeli ally in the Middle East. But we also think Turkey is essentially threatening Mediterranean security and undermining Mediterranean security with other NATO allies, specifically inside of Eastern Mediterranean shores such as Greece and Cyprus. But we also have to say specifically, Turkey has been enabling Russia's war effort against Ukraine. And if you add all these up, what we're concerned about is if you sell a stealth platform such as the F-35, this is a vastly different platform than any other platform that we have, such as the F-22, the F-16 or F-15 or other platforms. These are like fourth generation fighters, which, by the way, we have agreed to sell Turkey in the past, notably the F-16. The Turks are allowed to buy that. But the F-35 we want to hold off on because that is a strategic platform that we reserve for our most trusted allies. And we essentially want to make sure that we trust that would be used for the right purposes, not to antagonize and attack our closest allies. And we think we have some strong reservations against Ankara.
Sinan Ciddi with Foundation for Defense of Democracies. I wish we had more time. Thank you so much for your time and your insights tonight.